Hey everybody, Random Frank P. This video is going to be talking about Madden 15. Now, I know Madden 25 is still pretty relevant and it came out only around 6 or 7 months ago, and there really hasn't been much news on Madden 15, but it's really time that we start talking about it and getting the rumors going and all the speculation of how the game's going to be because, it's the NFL offseason right now. It's kind of a dead time. And if you're a Madden 25 owner, you're probably pretty bored of it now. Now that the season's over, there's really not much to do. It's that time where you're just looking forward to the new Madden. So I figured we'd talk about it just for a little bit. I don't want to make this too long. And, I didn't write out a script for this. I'm just going off the top of my head. I have two articles I want to pull up and reference. But let's just get right into it. Now, I've been a Madden owner since 2001. So we figure that's 14 years right there, every year that I've gone out and bought Madden. Um, and every year, when it was back on the PS2 before the last gen, I guess the 360, I would play it religiously. And then I feel like each and every year, around 2010, let's say, I started playing less and less. And I barely played Madden 13. Madden 25 I had for the 360. This was before it came out on the Xbox One and PS4. I had it for about 2 days because I bought it off this crazy awesome deal on Craigslist where the guy was selling it for like $30. I had it, I played it, and I was just like, this is garbage. It's the same thing as the past 3-4 years. And I flipped it and sold it on eBay for like double the price. So I was just very, very upset of the quality of the game. Yeah, the running got better, and like each and every year they tweak it. But honestly, we're paying $60 for a roster update. Now, again, they re-released it for the 360. I mean, the Xbox One and the PS4, with mainly just a graphics update. There really wasn't much differences at all. From what I've seen and heard from people, that was the only thing that was really changed and significant was the graphics, and even then, they weren't the best. So Madden 15, when that comes out, that will be the first official game that EA has had a full time, a full cycle to work on. So should we be looking forward to this? I don't really know. There's both sides of this. Either A, it's gonna continue to fail us like it has for the past 5 years, in my opinion. I mean, I assume most of the Madden gamers and fans have been playing it for some time. They have the general notion, and they feel the same way as I do, that it's letting us down each and every year. Or EA is just going to flat out surprise us and shock the whole world and put out a crazy, refresh new game. Odds are that's not going to happen. So I have to say that I deeply feel that Madden 15 is going to be a great disappointment. Now, before we get into what it contains, the little information we do have on it, I found an article this morning that was really, it was cool. It's called It's Not in the Game, 8 Features that NFL made EA Sports remove from Madden. And now, it just goes to show, A, how much the NFL has changed, and B, how much Madden has changed. And I found the article. I'm not going to read the entire thing because that's a waste of time. I'm not going to read something to you guys. It's not story time. But I'm just going to tell you some of the things that it brought up in here that everyone is kind of disappointed about and just the reasoning behind EA and why they removed these features. And it just goes to show how they're just continually disappointing us. The first thing they listed on here was the ambulance. That was back in like 2000. It ended in 2001. I think it debuted in 92, but that's not big. Health updates, that's not a big thing. This one is what I wanted to focus on, really, is the hit stick and the de-helmeting. Hit stick came out, I think it was first in 2005. That's when Red Loose was on the cover, and they really focused on hardcore defense. Everyone loved the hit stick. You push the right thumbstick up and you just lay the person out. Massive, massive hit. Everyone loved it because they would just drop and, get you pumped up in the game. And that also came along with the helmeting, which is where you hit them hard like that and their helmets would fly off. That hasn't been in the game since '06. But the hit stick thing was a short, stint that it had in the game that the NFL told EA to remove because they wanted to have a proper appearance. They didn't like how the head snapped back too sharply, so they wanted to make the animation more proper because they don't want to promote violence. So there is EA basically just saying, yeah, whatever, we'll do what you say because we like making money. So they're taking out these two features that we love and that are actually true to the game of football, and they're taking it out just so they can save themselves and make some extra money. Why not? Really dumb. Freewheeling owner mode. This was kind of stupid that they removed it. It was pretty much just how you could customize your organization, whatever team you pick in the game, where you could change the jersey colors, helmet colors, all that stuff. They took that out because they said they wanted to stay true to the integrity of the special organizations in the league. So they didn't want the Raiders with a pink helmet. Like, whatever. Again, EA, just stop. Another one here, celebrations. Remember back, I want to say it was 2011, maybe 2012. The celebrations. I know like there's some celebrations, like signature celebrations in Madden 25 and some, I think maybe in Madden 13, where like the key players had their own special celebrations, stuff like that. But they used to have where you could do your own, you can pick what celebration you want, all this stuff. But a couple years ago, with T.O. and Shadow Chosinko, how they would go nuts with their celebrations, all their props. And Madden was just like, well, we could put this in the real game, but NFL doesn't want us to, so we're going to cut it. Another thing, stupid. Leveling people, we talked about that. Oh, dynamic attendance, this is another one. In Madden 11, they include something called dynamic attendance, which is where the stadiums in the game would be populated to their real-life counterparts. So what that means is, the Patriots are going to be sold out all the time. The Colts will be sold out all the time. Someone like the Jags or the Miami Dolphins, who have horrible organizations and horrible attendance, it would reflect in the game. So you're playing in the game as the Jags, and you see that the lack of attendance in the stands in the game, that's true, right? Well, that was the case in this dynamic attendance. And the Jags owner was actually pissed off, called up the NFL, and had them fix it. Of course, EA cut it immediately. So these are just things that I don't even know why I really brought this up. I just wanted to guess I went in on the point that EA doesn't care about what the fans want. They just want to make their money and be good with NFL so they can keep their license, which is just complete BS. Now, the only information that we have currently on Madden NFL 15 is that they're going to do these, it's like a logo design and special uniforms. Now, I know it's completely stupid because it's kind of what they took out previously, as I mentioned earlier. But the thing is, they're going to make this special thing where if you're, I think it's a connected franchise, where you could actually take your team and move them to another city, and you can rename them, you can relocate them, and you can, I guess, redesign the entire team. So, they have some cities floating around. I'll read them to you really quick. They have 17 recommended cities they're going to use in the game that you can relocate your team to. San Antonio, London, Los Angeles, Mexico City, Toronto, Orlando, Salt Lake City, Brooklyn, Memphis, Chicago, Sacramento, Columbus, Portland, Austin, Dublin, Houston, and Oklahoma City. So mainly just the basketball teams. They just want to throw some of them in there. But those are the cities that you can choose to relocate your organization to, as well as the nicknames. There's a bunch here. I'll read through some of them. Dreadnoughts, Marshals, Express, Bulldogs, Black Knights, Dreams, All-Stars, Golden Eagles, Diablos, Huskies, Thunderbolts, Orbits, Wizards, Elks, Pioneers, Flyers, Dodgers, Beats, Yanks, Hounds, Egyptians, Blues, Tigers, Miners, Redwoods, Aviators, Caps, Snowhawks, Armadillos, Derbies, Desperados, Shamrocks, Celtic Tigers, Oilers, Gunners, Voyagers, Nighthawks, Bison. So those are some of the names you could choose to rename your organization to. And that's honestly the only information we have on Madden 15. Now, every year it comes out around it used to be early August, and lately it's been late August. So we're going to speculate the last Friday in August. This is the main thing I want to see is more realism. Now, I know that's hard to say, and it's hard for them to convert on that because, again, this is just a video game. They're just going off of mocap. But they've had the same animations I've noticed since 2006. That's seven plus years of using the same animations. We've all seen the same thing. We're running for a 30-yard touchdown, and we dive over the goal line. We do that stupid thing where you jump in the air and you strike a pose where you're laying out over the goal line and you fall down. We've seen that how many times? It's been the same thing for 7 years. Change up the animations. It doesn't take much at all for EA in the mocap studio to just throw the mocap balls on the guys and have them just do different things. They have a year to prepare for this, sometimes more than a year. Usually it's a year and a half they start working on them in advance. They can take the time to make new animations. I know it's not a big deal to them because, again, EA doesn't seem to care about what the fans want, but we're tired of seeing the same stuff over and over. It's the next gen. We want next gen material that we know they're capable of. The problem is there's no competitor out there like NFL 2K to really, I guess, push them to do better. So we have to put up with what they're giving us. Now, my result to not putting up with it was just not buying it, but obviously they still are the top-selling sports game behind, I think it was FIFA and NBA this year, but that's been a trend lately because those are just better games. Another thing that I want to see, I want a lively, realistically animated crowd. And not just the visuals and the looks of the crowd. That goes with the sound as well. I don't know if you people have ever been to an actual football game, but when you're at a football game live, the crowd is just going nuts 24/7 throughout the entire game. If you're the home team and you convert a first down, they're going to cheer like you just had a 50-yard pass, whether it was a 2-yard rush for a first down. No matter what it is, you get a first down, you hear the crowd go crazy. And no, it doesn't even matter if it's in real life. When you're watching a game on TV, you hear the crowd go crazy when it's a 5-yard pass, a 10-yard pass, a 15, 20. Doesn't matter. You complete a good pass, the crowd's going to go crazy. The only time you really hear the crowd is when you score a touchdown, and even then, it's the most unenthusiastic cheer and applause I've ever heard in my life. They seriously need to go in, like they said they were going to do, which they didn't. I remember back in 2012, I believe it was 12, how they had some of the unique like chants and stuff for the certain teams. Like the Jets had the JETS, 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 Jets. Eagles had their fight song. Unique teams would have unique chants and fight songs that they would play in the game after you score a touchdown. Then they said that's the first part of it. The next year, we've already been into all 32 stadiums and have recorded numerous game audio with the crowds to implement in the next year. Well, Madden 13 came along, they didn't do that. Madden 25 came along, the audio in the crowd was no different. I know it sounds very minor, but the crowd, you hear it with Seattle and the 12th man. The crowd is everything. The fans, they make home games the reason they have a home field advantage. I want the crowd to be more involved, and I have a feeling with Seattle and the whole 12th man thing that they're going to do something with the crowd this year to make it more a part of the game experience. I just really hope they take advantage of it because that's what I want, more crowd. And yes, don't give us the same PS2 textured models all over in the crowd. You're capable of doing better than that. It still looks like crap every year saying 1 out of every 4 person the same model. That's kind of annoying. Another thing I would kind of like to see, but I guess it kind of goes along with the animations, is the passing game on defense, the defensive game. Great. Darrelle Revis and the Patriots just agreed on a contract. Well, that sucks. I'm an Eagles fan. The passing game, I'm still just sick and tired of how the defenders play the corners. And they kind of reworked it in Madden 25 where the defensive player has to be looking at the ball in order to make a play. But you could still tell it's all the same stale animations that really hinder the game. Because when you're throwing a long ball to Calvin Johnson and all he does is jump up and have his hands cradled like it's just gonna fall into his arms when the defender all just jumps up with a stiff arm, and they're not making a play. It's just their animation is going through and it's just a hand swatting down a ball. That doesn't happen. You have fights for it. There will be contact. They will both go up at the same time, and The receiver will reach over the corner. That's what happens. Or vice versa. The corner will reach over the wide receiver to make a play. But that doesn't happen in the game because their animations aren't capable of doing that. Well, they weren't. They should be now that they have the next generation systems to work on and how much more room to work with. I guess I can go all day. I didn't really expect me to be talking this long. But I just really hope Madden 15 is what it could be. And honestly, it could have been Game of the Year back in 2009 when it started becoming downhill. The problem is, like I said earlier, EA knew they were at a point where they couldn't really do much more with the game itself, and they figured, well, we're still getting $60 from every person just to update the rosters. Let's add minor tweaks each and every year. And now, yes, each and every year it does get a little bit better, but that's no excuse anymore. You're on a new generation of consoles. You have so much more memory and power to work with. We are going to be expecting a much better game in 2015. Or, I guess, 14, but Madden 15. One more little quick note before I go here. This kind of has to deal with what I talked about earlier with EA just taking stuff out. Remember, again, I'm not 100% sure with what year the games were. I think it was 2011, 2012. They had the unique 32 teams, like specialized runouts for all the teams. Remember that? That was their main selling point. Was, hey, guess what? Before the game starts, you can watch your team run out of the stadium like they do in real life. Yeah, well, that's cool, but guess what? 90% of the people skipped it because when the loading screen's over, they press A so they can go to play their game. And again, I know in Madden 13, they had Jim Nantz and Phil Simms animated to put them before the game so you can watch them talk in their little 3D way. But guess what? Before the game, same thing that happened before, people skip that so they can play their game. Even a couple years ago when they introduced the whole fumbling thing where there's a pile up and they're tackling, you carry the pile. If you don't just go down on one tackle, you can carry up to like 5 guys and power through them. Or if there's a fumble, everyone jumps in it and you have to mash buttons to get the ball. All this stuff that they thought was going to be great that they put in for 1 year and take out. Don't you guys have testers? Don't you just think logically like, okay, yeah, in theory this sounds great, but every single time there's a fumble, does there have to be a giant pileup for it like there was? Or every time you're running the ball and you run into more than one, and when you run into more than one defensive player, there's gonna be a pileup? Like, don't they just have people testing their games and people who know football to say, hey, this doesn't happen. It's cool and it's kind of realistic, but it doesn't happen like this. It's like a twice in a game kind of thing. So what are you doing, EA? Just the little things that they keep doing that are annoying me. So until any more news comes out, I'm just going to keep this as it is. There are still currently 0 screenshots, 0 gameplay, and 0 official notes from EA on the game and all this stuff. Like I said, the only thing that has been confirmed is that relocating your city kind of thing, and which honestly it's not much of anything. So I just wanted to put this out there, get you guys thinking, just to talk about the previous Maddens and how they haven't been living up to my expectations. And I will probably be purchasing Madden 15 on the Xbox One, mainly because I just miss playing football games. I don't want to go back and play Madden 13 on the 360 because I tried, and it's just still horrible, and it makes me hate Madden even more. But I will probably give it a shot. I'm just telling you guys not to get your hopes up too much for Madden 15 being what you want it to be, because we've been continually disappointed each and every year. Well, let me know what you guys think below. In the comments section, just tell me your thoughts on Madden and what you want to see in Madden 15. Give me your Madden wish list, if you will. Hit like if you liked the video. Hit dislike if you didn't like me talking about Madden for whatever reason. And subscribe to my channel if you want to check out some of my other videos. I got a lot of stuff going on. recently been picked up by Machinima, so I'm doing as much as I can to put some fresh content out there. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.